She had said it so many times that even the walls of her small prairie house seemed to believe it. "I'm too old for love." Clara Whitmore spoke the words quietly as she folded a blanket by the fire, her hands steady but tired. At 48, life had worn her thin in ways no mirror could fully show. The frontier of Wyoming had taken much from her. Her husband to a winter fever, her only son to a distant railroad job that rarely allowed letters, and her youth to years of hard work and harder silence. Outside, the wind brushed the tall grass like a whispered memory. Clara lived alone on the edge of town, her small homestead standing between the open plains and the distant hills. Most evenings were the same. Supper eaten quietly, a chair pulled close to the fire. A Bible or an old novel opened more out of habit than hope. That night should have been no different. Until the knock came. It was soft at first, uncertain. Then firmer. Clara froze. No one ever came after dark. She wrapped her shawl tighter around her shoulders and opened the door just enough to see him. A cowboy stood there, tall and broad-shouldered, his hat pulled low against the cold. His coat was dusted with snow, his horse visible behind him, shifting patiently. "Ma'am," he said, voice calm and respectful. "Sorry to trouble you so late. My horse threw a shoe, and the town's closed up. I was told you might offer shelter." Clara studied him carefully. His eyes were kind, tired, and honest in a way she hadn't seen in years. "I'm Luke Carter," he added quickly. "I'll sleep in the barn if that's easier." She hesitated only a moment. "You'd better come in," she said. "The night's too cold." Inside, the house felt suddenly smaller, warmer. Luke removed his hat, revealing dark hair touched with silver at the temples. He thanked her twice before even sitting down. They spoke cautiously at first. About the weather, the long winter, the way the land never truly belonged to anyone. But as the fire crackled and the hours stretched, words came easier. Luke had lost his wife years ago during childbirth. Since then, he'd ridden from ranch to ranch, never staying long. "Feels safer not to," he admitted. "Can't lose what you don't keep." Clara nodded, understanding too well. At some point, she realized she was laughing. The sound startled her. It had been so long since laughter had filled the room that it felt like a stranger. When the fire burned low, Clara showed Luke the spare room. The wind howled harder now, rattling the windows. "If you need anything," she said quietly, "I'll be just down the hall." Luke paused. "Thank you, Clara, truly." She lay awake long after, staring at the ceiling. She told herself it was the wind that made her tremble, or the cold, or the unfamiliar presence of another soul under her roof. But deep down, she knew better. It was the feeling she had buried years ago, hope stirring where she had sworn nothing lived anymore. Sometime in the night, a sharp gust slammed against the house. Clara heard a door creak open. "Clara," Luke's voice came, hesitant. "The window in my room won't shut. Wind's fierce." She wrapped her shawl tighter and met him in the hallway. "Stay here tonight," she said after a moment, surprising herself. The fire's warmer. They sat on opposite sides of the hearth, not touching, not speaking much. Yet the silence between them was different, full, alive. At one point, Luke added another log to the fire, and the light flickered across Clara's face. "You're not too old for love," he said softly, as if afraid the words might break something fragile. Clara swallowed. "I don't know how to be loved anymore." Luke met her gaze. "Then maybe we learn slow." The night passed that way. Shared warmth, shared quiet, shared understanding. No promises. No rushing. Just two wounded hearts resting near each other. When morning came, Clara realized she hadn't slept much at all. But for the first time in years, she hadn't felt alone. Luke fixed his horse after sunrise. Before leaving, he stood awkwardly by the gate. "I ride through here often," he said. "If you'd allow it, I'd like to stop again." Clara smiled, a small but genuine smile. "I'd like that." As he rode away, the prairie seemed brighter, the air less heavy. She watched until he disappeared beyond the hills, her heart steady but changed. For the first time since she'd spoken the words, Clara knew the truth. She had never been too old for love. She had only been waiting for it to return, quietly, respectfully, and right on time.